lads, and welcome to Nashville, Tennessee, a place I've always wanted to visit. I'm visiting my friend Hansen. We're going to go on a little road trip. He just finished his residency at Vanderbilt. Woo! He's a full-fledged doctor. We're starting our morning, our hot morning here in Bicentennial Park where they have a farmer's market. It's really beautiful, so we're going to have a really good time. So it's a pretty beautiful park. They have this beautiful fountain above a natural spring, the sign says. And apparently, Hansen tells me this park is celebrating the statehood of Tennessee.
200 years.
200 years. That's not, oh, Bicentennial, that makes sense. So we're just checking out the farmer's market here at Bicentennial Park. I love a farmer's market. A lot of the stands aren't open, I think, because it's a weekday, but it's still very lovely. There's this big plant store. They have some peaches, which I bet are amazing. I love like a Georgia peach. Peaches are one of my favorite fruit. I bought a peck of peaches. Is that a peck? I don't know. I got like a basket of peaches. The guy said they're from North Carolina? South Carolina. Sounds good. I love peaches. In Texas we had amazing peaches, and I think southern peaches are probably the best. So our next stop is Centennial Park, which was built 100 years after the forming of the state here. So we went from Bicentennial, 200 years to 100 years, and they have this Parthenon that was modeled after the Parthenon in Greece. And actually Hansen told me a really amazing history of this whole area, that this park was built as part of like a state fair, and they had a pyramid, and they had
a creation of a South American city.
Oh, a South American city and a Parthenon, and they were built out of materials that were not very stable, but the Parthenon was so popular that they reconstructed it in concrete, and now people come and visit it all the time. I wish they had all the other stuff. Oh, and he told us that this lake used to have alligators in it. They stocked it with all sorts of animals, but the alligators would like eat the birds, so they got rid of them. So this is sort of the pride and glory of the inside here. Is this giant statue that used to be outside and used to be all white. Now it's like painted in a very eccentric fashion. And Hansen's like, prepare yourself. When it came around the corner, it's like, whoa. It's cool, I like it. Come to a cafe called The Graduate, which is this super cute hotel that has a coffee shop, and they have it decorated with this big carpet portrait of Sarah Cannon, who went by the stage name Minnie Pearl, and she did like a comedy country show, which sounds really awesome. And this place is super cute. We both got Cuban coffees, which is sweet and white and delicious. And refreshing. The sun is so brutally hot today. So a Nashville original food is the Nashville Hot Chicken, and the original Nashville Hot Chicken is Prince's Hot Chicken, which we've driven about 20 minutes southeast of Nashville downtown to get to. And the story goes is that this guy was a philanderer And he comes home late one night asking his girlfriend to make him chicken, and she's like, make you chicken? So in order to like get back at him, she made the chicken with a lot of cayenne pepper and spices, and in order to torture him, but it ended up being torturous but amazing and delicious, and he loved it, and they started this restaurant. This is not the original burned down, and this is the second one. Mild is still pretty hot, but it's really good. Very flavorful. I'm glad I didn't get anything hotter than mild though. So my next stop is a Nashville classic, the Grand Old Opry, which is a theater where they've had a lot of the classic country music acts and whatnot. And there's this whole infrastructure that's been built up around it. There's the Opry Mills Mall, there's a convention center, and just walking around here feels like I'm walking into Disney World or something. My friend Hansen dropped me off for a couple hours while he goes and runs some errands. So now I'm on my own. Consider myself a country music fan, but listening to this country music and being in Nashville definitely makes me more hungry for more country music. So for like $25 you can take a tour, a guided tour of the Opry House, which might be interesting, but for me I don't think it's really worth it because it's kind of crowded. No one in Nashville wears masks, which I'm still not 100% comfortable with. And if I'm coming into the Opry House, I think I'd rather just like see a show. So I walked a little through the big old Grand Opry Mills Mall, and I'm walking now towards the Gaylord Convention Center just to see if there's anything interesting to see. This place feels so much like Disney. A lot of space between the different attractions in the middle of the hot sun. Visiting the Gaylord Convention Center is cool because you can walk under a waterfall. So after the excitement of the Grand Ole Opry, I got really sun tired, went back and had a shower, and now we're ready for dinner. And before dinner we're having some 100-layer donuts, which are kind of like cronuts. First one is chocolate sea salt. Very rich. Has some like nougaty filling. The next one I'm most excited about, it's the funfetti one, which looks like a birthday cake one. That one's really good. Really vanilla-y. Has a birthday cake sort of quality. And the cream in the middle, it's sort of like the chocolate cream but vanilla. Ah, I recommend this place. Get the funfetti donut. No offense. I mean, I like chocolate, but I love funfetti. Good morning, nomads, and welcome to my second day here in Nashville. And you can't be in Nashville without appreciating a little bit of country music. And I'm starting my day doing just that, enjoying the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum. And I'm gonna end my day with some live music, so I'm very excited to explore more Nashville. Let's check it out. They have this like Taylor Swift tour bus where you can record yourself singing with a Taylor Swift song. Even though I'm wearing a mask and the sound is terrible, I could not resist doing it just a little bit. So the Country Music Hall of Fame is definitely an interesting place to visit. They have a lot of memorabilia, much like Hard Rock Cafe, which is one of my favorite places to visit in different cities. I enjoyed going. It's a little pricey for what it is, but if you're into country music at all, it might be worth a visit. Just off of Broadway is the Ryman Auditorium, which has hosted a lot of legends, just like the Grand Old Opry. You can tour it for about $20 to $30, which is about how much the Country Music Museum costs, which I think is a better value because you learn more about the musicians instead of just seeing an empty auditorium, which has a lot of history. Now I'm headed down to Broadway, Nashville Broadway, where even at 10 in the morning, there's live music and plenty of places to drink. unintentionally stumbled upon my favorite tourist site in every city, Hard Rock Cafe, but it's not open. And I love to collect the shot glasses, so I hope I'm able to make it work before I leave. So I just left Broadway for now. I might go back, but I'm heading towards some interesting murals and Music Row, which is where a lot of famous recording studios are. Right now I'm chasing the shade because it's pretty hot already. But I can't get over the fact that Nashville reminds me so much of a country version of Austin, Texas. You have your really hip center around 6th Street, which is Broadway here, and then a lot of like very quiet big city areas. To a street known as Music Row, where a lot of history in the music industry here in Nashville was made, starting in 1955 when the first recording studio was open on this street, and then many more came. So I'm gonna walk down and see all the cool history. The first recording studio was opened here on Music Row in 1955, and it was known as Quonset Records. This building is now owned by Columbia Records, but it's still a historic site with these cool guitars. One of the most interesting stops here on Music Row is the RCA Studio B, which recorded such acts as Dolly Parton and Elvis Presley. I don't know if you know this about me, but I love Elvis Presley because my mom loves Elvis Presley. And they actually ended up building a much bigger studio called RCA Studio A, which is right next door and is still functioning today as far as I could tell. I was actually reading on Wikipedia that the Country Music Hall of Fame and Museum used to be located around here on Music Row, which makes a lot of sense, but then they ended up moving it downtown where I started my journey this morning. After getting his teeth clean, Hansen is back. And I forced him to eat at Hard Rock Cafe so I can get my commemorative Hard Rock Cafe shot glass. So after a big lunch at Hard Rock Cafe, went back and showered and took a long nap, and now we're headed to a live music show with dinner at a place called The Listening Room. Hansen says it's one of the top 4 places for live music in Nashville, so I'm really excited.
How are we? Are we okay? I heard this morning that we're sold out tonight. That's nuts. They spent their lives watching us grow, did what they could, let the rest go. Sometimes broken houses make unbroken homes. Unbroken homes.
So we just got out of the show. It was so much better than I could have possibly expected. 4 singer-songwriters who have been in the business for a long time, and they are absolute poets. The music was so entertaining, even though I'd never heard it before. So moving. I actually cried during one song, and I wish I could come back 10 more times, but this is the last night and last activity I'm doing here. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more of my road trip I'm going on after this, please subscribe and hit the bell to be notified when new videos are available. Until next time, bye!